In this video, I share an Excel sheet that I use to track how well or how badly I am doing in iRacing. There will be a link in the description to download a copy of this sheet, and I will now take you through how to use it. And all this, of course, from an older gamer's perspective. In a previous video, I talk about why you think you suck at iRacing and why I think you are probably wrong, which you can watch here if you are interested. And in that video, I mentioned an Excel sheet that I use to track my progress or lack therein, which personally I found helpful to guide me on which tracks I was doing okay with and which tracks I needed to improve on, and of course which tracks I needed to probably avoid entirely. And a number of my viewers expressed an interest in using such an Excel sheet. So I have prepared a blank version for you for season 4 of iRacing in 2024. But of course, if you are watching this from the future, the Excel document can be used with any season of iRacing.
Great!
How to use the older gamer's perspective Excel sheet. So you can get this sheet if you look in the description. I'll put a download link there to some kind of hosting site. I'm not sure which one I'll use at the moment, so I won't say which it is now, but look in the description, click on the link, and you can download the sheet. It should be ready to go as soon as you get it. Yours will be empty, but what you're looking at here now is season 3 of my results for that entire racing debacle. I didn't have a great time, it has to be said. I was experimenting and it didn't go so well. This is the opening page, and here is a summary of all of your results. You can see here over on the far left we've got the week numbers. I haven't put week 13 in there because that's a crazy week and I'm not sure anybody wants to track anything from that. Here we have the total number of races. This is automatically updated from the other tabs that you will fill in. I'll show you that later. The series most race, this is just really anecdotal. You can fill this in if you want to or not. You have to manually do that. So you have to look at your week's racing and figure out which season you race the most, which series you race the most, and put it in here. You don't have to if you don't want to. You could just put the car in there if you wanted. Here you've got the average start. So from all of the races that you did, this is the average pole position that you did, 14th there. That's remarkable, isn't it? And here is the average finish, 11th, also remarkable. And here is the average number of incident points. Remember, this is the totals for that particular week. It'll make sense in a minute. I'll go through the week. Total championship points. I'll come back to that in a minute because that's an important one. And the average strength of field. And so this is an average, not a total of that. And then here is the total amount of safety rating that is either won or lost. As you can see here, I was minus 0.13 that particular week, and week 2 I was plus 0.82. And here we have the iRating change per week. So this is the amount of iRating in total that was accumulated or lost over that particular week. As you can see here in week 1 I gained 42, and here down at week 4 I lost 43. So a net loss of 1 there between those 2 weeks. Anyway, that's the total sheet here, and at the bottom it gives you the averages and totals of everything that you've got in here. Now, just to go back to these championship points here, as you know, with championship points, only 25% of your race in the same series per week are counted towards your championship points. Okay, and only your best 8 weeks count in each season towards those championship points, which is very convoluted in my opinion, but it's how iRacing do it. This total that you see here is the total amount of championship points I accrued regardless of what iRacing think, because I'm just interested really in how much I tot up. I'm not interested in what iRacing is going to do with those points. I'm never going to be up there in the top echelon of drivers, so I just really want to know how many points did I earn. It's a useful statistic. It's just not an actual statistic that iRacing uses when it's working out where you're going to be placed in the championship roster. Let's take you through the weeks now. So if I go to week 1, click on that, and this brings up the detail of what we were seeing there in the results. Here you see total races 9, average start, all that sort of stuff. We go to week 1. This is where I filled this in. Okay. So if you fill in a date here, as long as you put something in here, you can put just the 11th if you want. You don't need to put the month. As long as you put something, this result field down here will count each field that contains text or a number and come up with that number 9. And that number 9, because it's 9 races here, will automatically be updated here. So only cells here that contain any kind of text are counted here. All right. Remember that. That's important. These, you have to fill in manually. Okay. I color code them like this because it sort of matches the color. So this sort of yellowy beige color is a sort of, in my mind, a C license color. And this, darker beige, I guess, is a D class. And then we have this, offshoot of red is the rookies. Red for danger in the rookies. And, that just gives it a color code for me to show what I'm doing and how I was racing in that particular week. In this week, I was trying out the touring cars, and that didn't go so well, really. And I was doing a bit in the production car challenge with the GR86, which is probably by far one of my most favorite cars. I was kind of doing it okay. If you look over here, you know, my rating change was sometimes not good. Sometimes it was okay. I'm going to double there. Let me just update that. So I go into format cells, and I want that to be just a single because there's no decimal places on iRating change. So that's how that works. And I just put in all the statistics. Now, where do you get those statistics? Well, it's just from the results page. And all of these: start, finish, instant points, championship points, strength of field, average lap time, best lap, safety rating and iRating kind of appear in the order that you will see them. So here is the new sheet for season 4 for you. And you download this sheet. This is what you will see. Lots of zeros all over the place. There's zeros in there because there are formulas inside this sheet. And so it has to display some kind of data. If it doesn't, then you get these sort of weird error messages. So on each week, I've put zeros where it's needed to be. So that's, oops, forgot to delete that. Let me just get rid of that for you. As you can see there, all the zeros on all the different weeks. Some of these weeks have got less race time in them than others. That's just where I had it. If you want to put more in, just click here and do insert. And then this field will still be counted. It'll still go in nicely. Average 3 there because there's a 0 above it. Unfortunately, putting these zeros in does kind of screw with the averages a little bit, but as you work your way through the weeks, you'll get less zeros, and so it will have less effect on the average overall. Really, you're only looking at this for interest, I think. I'm not sure it serves any real purpose other than anecdotal information for yourself on how your driving is going. What you really care about is when you fill out these details for the week and you finish the week, you can look back at it and say to yourself, yeah, okay, in this car on that track, I wasn't doing so well. What should I do next week? You know, you can sort of move through the different weeks like that and try and figure it out. So this field, this sheet itself doesn't need to be filled in except for this one here, which is the series most raced. It's optional. You can put in the car and the series that you raced here if you want to. You find that information by just coming in here and looking at series here and the track, and then that will figure out, you know, which one you raced the most. It doesn't automatically update. It's the only field on here really that doesn't update. Okay, bear that in mind. So to fill it in is really easy. You start your racing week 1, click on the week 1 tab. Okay. By the way, save this Excel sheet as a copy so that you have the original blank one. That way, if you accidentally delete some of the formulas or something like that, you can get it back without having to download it. From there, you then need to look at the results page. Here you can see the results page for the entire season. I'm just going to pick a race at random. It's nothing to do with the fact that I came 3rd place in that race, and I just want to show it off. buzzing at all. So we put the date in here, and on that particular race, it was the 19th of August. Right in there. Boom. You see already, we've got one race has been marked. If we go across to the weekly results, it's updated there. That's cool, isn't it? And then in here, you can put the series in, which was the Global Mazda. And of course, we were driving the MX-5. If you want to drop down a line there, you don't know it in Excel, it's alternate enter will give you that drop down. If you just push enter, it goes down to the next field. So don't do that. And then, of course, it's rookies. We put the R in there. And I colour these so that I can figure that out later. Oh, we want the track as well, don't we? In this case, it was Virginia, the International Raceway, the North Course. There we go. So highlight those three columns there. Right click on the mouse and come up to this little bucket thing, this fill, and then figure out which colour you want for Mazda's rookie race, or any rookie race really. I went with this rose colour, which I had to pick out from more colours. You click on that and you can go in here and find it in here as well. But yeah, once you've used it once, it will come up there, so you don't have to keep doing that. So rose goes in there. And then we want to say, okay, we started on 5th. Hit the tab key on your keyboard. Then my result was 3rd. Yeehaw! Put a 3 in there. Fantastic. On this particular race, I got 0 incident points because I was a very good boy. And so I don't need to alter that total. I can leave it like that. And then I go to the next one and I change that to 57, which was my championship earnings for that particular day. Okay. And then we go across to strength of field, which was 1175. Boom. These results here, average lap and all these others, we need to open the results tab itself. Here you can see we've got plus 0.16 and plus 60. 0.16 in there and plus 60 in there. If it's a plus figure, you can just enter that. You don't have to type the 0. You just go decimal point, whatever it is, and it will put the 0 in there. If it's a minus, if you got minus 0.5, you put it in like that. Same as the iRacing change, minus 75. That gives you everything you need down there. And of course, it's totaled down here for these two. There we go. Then we bring up the iRacing page again and scroll down, and we can get the 142,604. And then the best lap time was 139.340. And the best lap was lap 5. And that's it. That's really all you have to do. It takes just a few minutes. And if you keep on top of it, by which I mean if you put these results in after the end of every race session, you maybe do one race, you maybe do 2 or 3 races, and then afterwards you come across, you find your results and you plonk them in. Then it doesn't take so much time and it's not so much of a pain. If you leave it until the end of the week, it becomes like a job. So don't do that. Just put them all in. And as you can see here, we've got the averages filled out. They're exactly the same as up here. But if we were to start putting in other figures, you can see that they change quite considerably. There you go. Zero that out. So we've got one race, and those are the results there. And we go back to the race results page, and it shows those exact ones there again. You can do best lap if you want here. That's just really for the end of the week. If you're racing the same series and the same track all week, then you might want to put that in there for future reference, so that if you come across this track again in a future season, you can look back and see what sort of time you should be doing, or if you have improved on those times. So carry on going through all of the week, or all of the races of the week, and filling out the results. Again, if you need more races, click here and do insert. Oops. You just get rid of that color, put some white in there, and fill them all out, and it will update automatically. Apart from this field here, which is the most raced, class most used, and track most used. You have to put those in manually yourself, and then you can put them in here. And as you go through all of the weeks, they will all update automatically, and it will show you here your iRating gain or loss for the entire season. If I just go back to last season's, I'll show you that in a bit more detail. Okay, and this is season 3 of 2024. And as you can see, I've got it all filled out here. It tailed off for me a little bit with iRacing this season. It's so hot where I live in Germany. It just became unbearable to race in VR. And so I didn't do very much racing. And the racing I did do, as you can see here, I did this rookie race. I just did a few of them, and I ended up with minus 109 on that particular week. So for the entire season, I gained 0.75 for my safety rating, but only 88 for my iRating, which was quite a shame. You consider, like, you know, all the ups and downs that I was doing. Some weeks I was gaining 122, and some weeks I was getting considerably less. When you look at the week that we go into here, look, you can see some races you do really well, 50 here, and some you don't do so well. And you have to work out, look, I was in this touring car challenge, and that's not really my race. These front wheel drive cars, I don't really kind of get them. And I was doing very badly on that. But when I went into the GR86, which is one of my favorite cars, as I said earlier, I can pull back some of these points. But if you experiment, yeah, you are probably going to be punishing yourself. So watch out for that. That is the good thing about these sheets. It kind of teaches you what you should and shouldn't be doing in the overall scheme of focusing on cars and tracks. So as I say here is the full 12 weeks. And although I only got 0.75, it was enough to give me a B class promotion for season 4. I don't know. I don't know how I'm a B class driver. I don't think I should be, but it is what it is. And I will have to go through the rest of season 4 with that now, and people seeing me come up behind them and thinking I know what I'm doing. Boy, are they in for a surprise.
I don't like surprises, Michael. Me either.
To round up this video now with a small caution on this sheet is that it only really works if you are racing one particular style, so road or formula or oval, whatever. If you want to race multiple disciplines, I'm afraid you will need to create multiple Excel sheets to keep track of them all. If you enter all of the data from all of the different disciplines into the one sheet, it's probably not going to make much sense of the results. So bear that in mind when you're tracking your data. If anyone has any ideas on how to overcome this, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, tracking your racing progress with this sheet does require some discipline. You do need to fill it in for every race you take part in for it all to make sense, but this effort is more than rewarding by seeing in black and white, along with whatever other colours you use, what adjustments you might need to make to your racing style, which cars you should stick with, which ones you should avoid, and the same for the tracks. It's very elucidating. So good luck, and I hope your season 4 results look better than mine did for season 3. I'm definitely going to be doing less experimenting this season. If you find you need more help, please comment below, or if you have any further tips on this, also comment below. And if you need help ASAP, then I would suggest joining the Older Gamers Perspective Discord channel. I will link that below. And there you can ask some questions and get timely responses from a great group of people. In the meantime, I hope you found this video helpful, and until the next one, race clean, and I'll see you on track. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button, and if you haven't already done so, subscribe. Click the little bell icon if you want to be notified of any future videos.